Taking advantage of opportunities reminds me of something else. If you'll allow me to plow straight into it. Will you allow me to?
What did it remind you of, Jer?
The fact that Israel is going to take advantage of this opportunity within the next 2 weeks to strike Iran. What do you think about that?
There's been lots of talk over the past few years of an Israel strike on Iran. Iran's called out Israel several times, saying they want to destroy it. They want to wipe it off the face of the planet. So this isn't new. What's new about it this time? What's heating up this story again?
Let's say I heard a few weeks ago we don't need names, we don't need details. Some guy in Israel was coming out saying that it would be a terrible idea to attack Iran, and he was like a military strategist, and they're saying this guy wouldn't be telling you how terrible of an idea it is if there wasn't a faction within Israel that wanted and was making noise about making a strike against Iran. So that was a few weeks ago. That was before this whole fabricated assassination plot on American soil in Washington, D.C. about the most far-fetched...
Were they going to drop a bomb on this restaurant in Washington? How was it a suicide bomb, or how was this going to happen?
This was... honestly, I don't even want to get caught up in the details because I know that it's fabricated. They say that this Iranian guy was put up to it by the top of the top in Iran, right? Ahmadinejad, what is it? Well, not... Is it the Ayatollah Khomeini? Yeah, Ayatollah Khomeini.
Rock and roller.
These guys are. They know it. They knew. They set this guy up to it, and this guy goes and gets someone from the Las Zetas. Who just happens to be in our right pocket as the American government. I say ours, but I should say theirs. The American government works with the Las Zetas cartel to keep all other drug cartels down and promote their business, because it's good business, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so this guy just happened to go to our U.S. government's favorite cartel and find somebody to assassinate the Saudi ambassador in Washington, D.C. Are you effing kidding me that they're going to come not only on American soil, but get involved a Mexican cartel? I mean, this is the most scripted. And this came down the day before subpoenas were to be handed out over Fast and Furious.
Right.
I mean, you have to be kidding me. This is a complete attention diversion. Don't pay attention to Fast and Furious. Don't pay attention to Occupy the entire world at this point. Let's just get Iran, and luckily it's not happening. It's not Russia, China, they're not stupid enough to fall for this bullshit, and but it's not America. That's what I'm saying. I don't even think America's really going to do this. It's going to be Israel. They're going to strike Iran. They're going to take advantage of this opportunity, and we're going to back
Israel the green light.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They're going to do it. We're going to piggyback on in. What do you think about that?
I think there's a couple of things going on as far as to divert attention away from this Holder Too Fast, Too Furious thing. I think a lot of stuff has come out as far as Holder's role in that, and he'd be gone by now if this was a legit government, if they weren't corrupt at every level. That's the main problem I see with this whole Occupy and everything.
Eric Holder, who I think it was in May, the middle of May, he does this. He's asked, under oath, when did you first hear about Fast and Furious? I know you're busy, but when did you hear about it? I can't remember the exact date, but it was just a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
And you go back to March. Whoops.
There's emails.
No, there's a video of Obama
talking
about it and throwing Eric Holder's name in there, and 2 months beforehand, in the last couple of weeks. I mean, this goes back years.
I heard about the emails that he sent back and forth where he sent it, talking about this thing, this Too Fast, Too Furious operation.
If you don't know Too Fast, Too Furious is the sequel. Don't worry, your government will be doing that next. It's probably going on right now. But Fast and Furious was the government operation where we sent, where we fucking shipped guns straight into Mexico, knowing that we were going to lose them, knowing that there's no way to track them, and said, "Oh, we're going to track them back to the cartels."
No, America's main export, right, is weapons, is war, is destruction.
Main export, weapons, war, destruction. Main import, drugs.
Sex and rock and roll.
Sex and rock and roll.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I think along the same lines as this Israel-Iran attack, something is actually happening though as far as this Ugandan invasion by the U.S. Special Forces.
Thing. More bullshit.
To divert, the attention away from what's really going on. The main problem with this is the Ugandan president, Yoweri Museveni.
In English? What is it in English?
That's his name.
Oh.
He's been the president of Uganda since guess when? 1986. So for a full 20 years he's been president. For a full 25 years he's been president of Uganda. How long was Mubarak president of Egypt? Was it about 20, 30 years too?
I'm sure they're re-elected by their...
No. Anytime there's a re-election bid, he smushes the competition, says get out of here.
Oh.
You're not welcome. And he's re-elected every time through fear, through intimidation.
But how does that make sense? Because we love democracy in America.
We do.
And we want to spread it to the world. I don't understand what.
But our main export is war, drugs, or is war, destruction, and whatever else.
Yeah.
And weapons. So how can we keep that going if we really do support democracy?
I need to stop saying we.
Yeah.
I'm separating myself from the military industrial complex of America.
The machine.
The man, the machine, the legend, whatever you want to call it.
Yes. Woo!
Barack Obama basically has shipped combat-ready troops to Uganda.
136 special forces.
But
just to talk, just to
they're there to teach,
lead the Ugandan
They're there
forces.
to train and prepare. They're not there for combat. But
meanwhile, they're going after this guy Kony, the leader of the LRA. He's been giving this Ugandan president some trouble for quite a while.
I call him Kony Dog.
And so my guess is to win re-election, he's going to capture this LRA guy with the help of the U.S. Special Forces and really look good on TV for his people and hopefully get re-election. But it's too bad that that's not going to really be happening because of all these Ugandan people being pissed off and also protesting over there against the government. They're having a walk-to-work protest where they're walking to work to protest the price of food, the price of gas, the price of commodities in general.
I'd like to. I got to pause real fast. I'm sorry.
Something's happening on the show.
We're getting hated on over here in the chat room for drinking Budweiser while talking bad about America. Okay, listen, sir. I don't want to hear one more bad word about Budweiser on this show. This is the official beer. With horses in its commercial of Mind Control, okay?
Do you hate horses?
Do you hate horses in commercials? What is your problem? Rusty Shackelford 85. Clearly some young punk ass.
Probably watches that damn King of the Hill. But enough of that. For hating corporate America as much as you do, you sure do love to drink beer. Budweiser is a sham. It produces blank bottles with different labels and charges for... I mean, we all know that's happening. I'm not saying it's not happening. I enjoy capitalism.
Listen,
I'm not saying I hate corporations.
Let me just go on the record and say this.
Come on. Listen to what I'm saying. Stop hitting the party line, dude.
If I could afford it, this would be a Heineken show.
It would.
Heineken costs a little more than Budweiser, and we got to put on the show every week, okay? I can't afford that much Heineken. No. Let me just say, Heineken is the unofficial show when we're off the air.
Yes.
Budweiser is the official show with horses.
Whenever we
make
money and actually become somebody, we can afford the Heineken, okay?
Until then,
this is the Budweiser.
Until then,
this is the drink.
Budweiser's the greatest.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for not sponsoring this show.
Drink local beer. So, you think because I hate corporate America, I should drink local beer?
Oh, he tells us Texas bottles amazing beers like Shiner. Shiner's a good product.
But it's still buying corporate America. So
it is. That's true.
Sorry.
Let's buy Heineken.
Maybe you think these are federal beers.
Let's buy Heinies. I think we should.
So these Ugandan people are pissed off and they want this guy gone. They see the corruption happening. So this is just another play to gain favor. This guy is really
Speaking
going
of
on.
plays to gain favor, Occupy has spread worldwide.
Yes.
And all of your politicians are jumping on board.
Yeah.
I support
Democratic politicians, mainly.
Yeah, Democrats. There you go. Sorry. All your Democratic politicians are jumping on board. They love it because it's all the way to bring in socialism, which was the whole goal anyway. If you listen to a lot of people,
no, private wealth, social debt. I think that's the whole plan, right? Private wealth, social debt. The debt is socialized, but the wealth is privatized.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. Whatever they tell you. You know what? But I'll be honest. I think out of this, we might end up getting a lot of things. You might end up getting things like higher wages, better benefits, more tax on the rich, all this stuff that sounds good, but I promise you it's going to end up hurting you. The rich are going to get richer, the poor are going to get poorer. Occupy Wall Street, I promise you, has shady beginnings. Eddie promises you that it's legitimate.
No, the attitude of the protesters are legitimate. There could be some co-opting going on, but the protesters out there, I think, really do want to see major change happen as far as the corporation.
They do, but
the corruption.
Now, I'll be honest. I've heard a lot of people on the street interviewed, and even these idiots are still saying that the rich need to be taxed more.
Yeah.
Now I know that your Russell Simmons are being put out there to be the voices. Russell Simmons is out there saying he doesn't get taxed enough. He wants to pay more taxes. Warren Buffett wants to pay more taxes.
Then why don't they?
Why
don't they just donate to the government? They want to do it so bad.
Complete and utter garbage.
Warren Buffett's been fighting this $1 billion tax for the past 10 years. So what's Warren Buffett supposedly? These guys are fucking full of bullshit.
Of course they are.
Yeah. Russell Simmons, you watched that show, Russell Simmons show?
That wasn't his show.
That big fucking house and that big fucking pool.
That wasn't his show.
The golden bases.
That was his brother's show.
Oh, it was Russell.
But he was always on it.
Okay.
He was always on it. He just... But for him to be out there... And actually, the protesters were calling him out. This one chick, you find the video where Russell Simmons is trying to talk to the cameras, standing there with all the people behind him like he's the voice of the people. This woman's right there going, "You're part of the problem, Russell. You're part of the problem." He is, and to pretend like we're in this problem because rich people aren't taxed enough is the most ridiculous conclusion that you could ever come to. We are in this because of a social agenda for the last 100, well over 100, maybe 110, 120 years of purposeful...
I'm sorry.
Social engineering straight into the ground. Let's just say that.
Mainly to shift the wealth all the way towards the top 1%. So this is what happened. The top 1% have gamed the system for so long that the system is now broken. It won't work anymore, and they don't know what to do. They're trying to bleed the middle class, the majority, even more than they were bled before, to try to get out of this mess they're in. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. People are standing up. People are saying, "You can't fucking bleed us anymore. We have nothing left to give."
Interesting thing here outside St. Paul's Cathedral in London, as Occupy London has spread to London. Hundreds of people.
Julian Assange was there, poster boy of the Anonymous.
300 strong have camped out in front of this church, and what the leaders of the church have basically done is said to the police, "Back off. These people are sitting here.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything. Back off." Now, that's I guarantee you, if we did that at Occupy Wall Street, what would happen if the police backed off at Occupy Wall Street?
What happened?
What would happen? The people would go actually to Wall Street where they intended to march and not be barricaded off, and they would shut down normal working operations of Wall Street.
Yeah.
What would be the harm in that? Somebody please tell me.
That's financial chaos. Would that happen because of that?
So
no stocks are traded. No more.
Would you rather that, or would you rather hundreds of people in jail? Now all these people are basically coming out and saying everybody who's been arrested is hopefully going to get together and say, we're not going to settle. We're not going to make any kind of deal.
They're going to fight this.
We're not going to plead. We're not going to plead guilty and just be the end of this, or take any kind of deal that you offer us. We're going to take every one of these to trial, and we're going to clog up the entire court system because you want to arrest hundreds and thousands of us. Then go fuck yourself. You can now spend all that time in court prosecuting all these people getting arrested for what? Walking in the street. Now, like I said, if these cops, like in London, if they would just back off, what is the worst that's going to happen? The people are going to peacefully stand there, protest, and camp out. That's the intent. Nobody is intending to get in conflicts with police. No one was intending. For
the majority, this has been a completely nonviolent affair.
And
if it was
police,
nonviolent, it's been the police.
The U.S. police are escalating this. If you look at the example worldwide, this movement is peaceful. This movement is whatever, but. It gives me tired head. Yeah. It gives me tired head because there's a lot of good people.
I'm excited by it.
There's a lot of good people out there. I promise you, it started with bad intentions. George Soros has written all over this. There's going to be socialist agenda and programs that come out of this, but the people out there are like us. They do have the right emotion. It's just being co-opted. It's just being taken the wrong way. We need the real demands. Here are the real demands. Audit the Fed. As soon as you find out that there's any kind of shenanigans, you end the Fed. You end the war on drugs. You end the war on terror. You never start another war on an idea or a concept ever again. And like I said before, if you've ever served on the Council on Foreign Relations, if you've ever been in the Trilateral Commission, and if you've ever been to a Bilderberg meeting, you and your family are exempt from American or world politics forever.
Yep.
You can never, ever, ever have a say in politics ever again. I don't care how low or how high in any of those organizations you ever were, if you ever had anything to do with them, if you have any of that stink on you, go fuck yourself. You've ruined this country. You are ruining the world. Go to hell. And you will.
Amen, brother.